The nation is facing a White Claw shortage, and some are calling it a national crisis. But the White Claw shortage is no accident. In fact, it was totally predictable. Spiked seltzers have become the drink of choice among many young drinkers. And millennials in particular are choosing spiked seltzers more often than not over beer. As the demand for cheap, easy-to-buy drinks with fewer calories has continued to grow, it makes sense why beverages like White Claw have been such a hit. According to a report by Nielsen, sales of spiked seltzers are expected to surpass 1 billion by the end of 2019. That's a surge of nearly 200% compared to 2018. Now, nearly every major beer company has launched at least one version of a spiked seltzer drink, including companies like Budweiser's Bon and Viv and Sam Adams Truly. Regardless of the stiff competition, White Claw has remained the industry leader. Americans reportedly drank more White Claw over the course of 6 months in 2019 than all of 2018. Yes, all of 2018. Claw sales grew 283%, garnering more than $327 million in July 2019, compared to the same period in 2018. Alone, its sales accounted for nearly 55% of all hard seltzer sales for the week of July 4th. Fast forward to September 2019. The company confirmed there was a nationwide shortage and it was working around the clock to increase supply in order to keep up with the drink's rapid demand. So what were some of the factors that led to the Claw craze? For starters, White Claw is taxed at a cheaper rate than distilled spirits. That's because it doesn't actually contain vodka or distilled spirit, meaning that your White Claw isn't just a canned vodka soda. If it was, it would be subject to a less favorable tax code and therefore be more expensive. Not to mention, it would also have a much higher alcohol content. Instead, it's made through a process more similar to the way beer is made. The only difference is that White Claw is fermented using a sugar base instead of a grain base like beer. Since White Claw and other spiked seltzers are brewed like beer, they're also taxed like beer. And in the US, beer is taxed at a much lower rate than distilled spirits. This is also the reason why White Claws are only 5% alcohol by volume, which is similar to session beers. Which brings us to our next factor, accessibility. Because White Claw and other similar spiked seltzers contain a lower amount of alcohol, these types of drinks can be sold alongside beer in places like grocery stores and gas stations, making it easy for people to buy. So basically, the beverage industry has come up with a way to brew spiked seltzer, allowing for it to be taxed at a lower rate and therefore sold for cheaper prices and in more locations. Aside from its production and distribution, White Claw was marketed to be a gender-neutral drink. Unlike beer, which has been historically marketed to men and wine to women, spiked seltzers have remained pretty even. A Bank of America Merrill Lynch survey analyzing millennial drinking preferences found a 50-50 split among consumers of hard seltzer. Some argue that spiked seltzer was created to be marketable to millennials, therefore appeal to that generation's gender norms. So how long are we going to be in Claw crisis mode? Well, the company says it could continue into next year. But this doesn't necessarily mean you need to go out and stock up on White Claw, unless you want to, of course. What it means is that the company is using a distribution method called allocation. Because White Claw can't keep up with demand, manufacturers are purposely limiting supply in order to continually serve all of its US markets. So stores are still receiving consistent shipments, but the volume of shipments are staying the same despite the increased demand. This is why in some areas, Claws are flying off shelves faster than you can buy them. I guess we'll just have to see if the drink of the summer can survive the winter.